Hello, and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines, Pittsburgh. In today's episode, I'll be completing the Station Square neighborhood of Pittsburgh. Located on the south shore near downtown, Station Square is a former historic railway station which has been redeveloped into indoor and outdoor shopping, entertainment, and tourism. It's also home to the Gateway Clipper steamboat, the Station Square LRT T-station, modern condos, and the Highmark soccer stadium. With all that being said, I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy content like this and want to see more. To start off the build, I'm placing some high-density commercial buildings, some industrial warehouses, and some industrial lofts to replicate the look and feel of modern-day Station Square. The disused infrastructure from the Pittsburgh and Lake Erie Railroad Station was repurposed in 1976 to become mixed-use development. Today, shops, restaurants, offices, and hotels allow for local residents and tourists alike to enjoy the waterfront and see scenic views of downtown. As you can see now, I'm using procedural objects to edit these West Coast offices by G.C. Voss. I use the rotate and position tool to get the building into the right place, and then I use the customize tool to rotate some of the vertices to skew the building and make it the correct shape. I then use the recolor tool within PO to match the color to the real-life building. Next, you'll see me use some of the same techniques and procedural objects to change the Lipscomb Pitts Insurance Building into the Sheraton Hotel building seen in real life in Station Square. As I mentioned earlier, Station Square has a storied history as a rail transit center, but in the late 60s and early 70s, as car and air travel became more popular, the Pittsburgh and Lake Erie station had seen passenger traffic plummet. This led to the plans to begin mixed-use redevelopment in 1976. Today, the redevelopment has allowed Station Square to become a place for people to gather, with a focus on fine dining and tourism. Looking at the local news, there seems to be plans to continue the redevelopment on the Station Square neighborhood. I've included some renders from Pittsburgh Post-Gazette of what the future state of Station Square may look like. As you can see, I'm now using procedural objects to take these warehouse buildings and just kind of mold them into the commercial buildings you see in Station Square. This center one that I'm working on right now is the Hard Rock Café. So along with the warehouse assets that I was using earlier, I used this Hard Rock Café asset by King Leno and the Chesguez restaurant by Grooney, and I just try to combine the three into this composite style building that replicates the Hard Rock Café. In their Hard Rock Café asset, King Leno also included some of these guitar-shaped Hard Rock Café signs, which I'm placing on the north side of the building now. Later, I'll edit down the sign using procedural objects just to get the Hard Rock Café logo, so I can place that on the awning below and on the south side of the building. As I continue building out the retail area of Station Square by copy and pasting some of these procedural object warehouses, I want to just talk about the history of the area a little bit. One of my viewers mentioned that this is an area that they used to go clubbing in college, so I decided to do more research into the nightlife of the area, and I found out that it used to be a hotspot for music and clubs such as Zen Social and Saddle Ridge, and just a general place for people to gather. In the early 2000s, however, the nightlife of Station Square slowly started to disappear as violence and bankruptcies at the clubs started to increase, leading to the redevelopment that you see today. If you're a Pittsburgh local or have knowledge of the area that you'd like to share, please consider joining the Discord server for the Pittsburgh project. I've included a link in the description to join. Today, the Discord has over 80 members, including some native Pittsburgh residents, popular asset and content creators, and many fans of city skylines. Join today to see behind-the-scenes bonus content from the Pittsburgh project, join in on monthly challenges, chat about city planning, Pittsburgh, and much more. As I start wrapping up part 1 of the video and start to detail Station Square, I just wanted to give a quick update on the channel, what's planned for the future, next episodes, next series. I have a lot in store. For the next episode, I plan to work on Southside. It's going to be part 4, where I work on the flats and some of the retail areas past the Birmingham Bridge. The asset creator Gilded Age has been working on some assets that I plan to use in that area, and I'm really excited to show them off soon. I also have another series in the works which I'm planning on releasing the first episode of pretty soon. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've moved to a 2-week release schedule for episodes, so I plan to release one of the new series every 3rd week or so. The Pittsburgh project will still get priority, but I want to start introducing this revitalization project to other Rust Belt cities, just to gain some variety and also maybe attract new viewers from areas that I start to work on. Now I'm starting to work on this Italian restaurant in Station Square, and you may notice that I'm starting to try to micro detail a little bit more. I'm using more shop signs and trying to capture all of the small details that make Pittsburgh what it is. I was lucky enough to have Gilded Age create a sign for this restaurant to bring a little bit more added realism to it, and I think it turned out really great. So I want to give a quick shout out to Gilded Age and just say thank you for making this asset. For these waterfront piers near the Smithfield Street Bridge, I actually used this vanilla fishing pier asset. The vanilla assets work pretty great, but I just darken them up a little bit in PO because sometimes they're a bit too bright for the lighting in the game. As I continue to work my way westward through Station Square towards the Fort Pitt Bridge, I'm starting to work on Highmark Stadium. Highmark Stadium is a FIFA-certified soccer stadium in Station Square, home to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds Soccer Club. It also functions as a music venue hosting concerts and live shows for Pittsburgh residents. As you can see, the stadium itself is pretty minimal, so I use these line decal networks by Ronic69 along with these bleacher assets by Cristalisto just to try to get a shape of the stadium and also capture some of the details. Now, moving back to the main retail area of Station Square, I'm creating this elevated walkway that allows pedestrians to reach the Gateway Clipper fleet. I made mention to the Gateway Clipper earlier in the video, but it's actually a steamboat that docks in Station Square. It acts as a dining and sightseeing cruise in Pittsburgh that travels along the rivers and allows tourists to see the city from a different perspective. What I didn't know about the Gateway Clipper, and I actually learned this pretty recently from a City Nerd video, is that it also acts as a local ferry service, as it allows residents to leave the Gateway Clipper fleet in Station Square and reach Heinz Field for Steelers games on the other side of the Ohio River. To cover up in detail the elevators that lead to the elevated walkway for the Gateway Clipper, I'm using this Polo Tropical asset by Illumino. I actually got really lucky that this asset came out a few days before I made this video because it works perfectly and it looks exactly like the elevators in real life. To do this, I'm collapsing the object using procedural objects and using the Merge Vertices tool to just consolidate everything that I don't need and package it into just this one small piece of the building that I'm going to use. You can then see me stretch and elevate the asset, recolor it, hide a few more details, and then I move and copy and paste it to the other side. Wrapping up part 2 of the video now and about to move into the final detailing for Station Square. You can see me collapse this hotel building by crazy glue it. And I'm doing this just to get the hotel entrance so that I can move it with PO up to the second story. In real life, these office buildings and restaurant on the bottom floor have an entrance like this on the Smithfield Street Bridge elevated above ground. To wrap up today's video, I'm placing the final details on these luxury apartments / condos on the riverfront here. These apartments are actually brand new, or at least they were built after 2019 when the Google imaging data was ready. So for these, I had to go down in the street view to actually get a reference. For the details, I'm just adding some small props like parking meters and street trees, planters, as well as some shrubbery by Abator. I also placed some of these parking gates as an extra detail for the parking lots for the Station Square T station. These parking lots act as sort of a park and ride for the Station Square T station for those who'd rather ride the LRT into downtown than pay for downtown parking. As always, I want to say thank you for watching, and special thank you to my Patreons for your support. I hope you enjoyed the video.